Hello, welcome to Kuddle Muddle. I'm Abnija, and today I'm going to be sharing some tips and tricks with you, with the help of which you will be able to read faster, more books, more efficiently, and retain all the information in your head. Okay, so let us open the doors to our magnificent world and dive right in. So, have you ever wondered how highly successful people read so many books, and even though they're so busy, they're able to read more books than us, people who are comparatively not as busy as them? Well, now you can do that too. And not just read more books, but read them faster and in a more efficient way, so that you not just read them but also retain all the information that you've read. Now, these tips can be applied to your studies as well. So you can apply this while reading, your pleasure reading hobby, to achieve your reading goals, and you can apply them to your studies as well. Okay, so the first tip that I want to give you is that have an intent. You need to be severely intent about what you're doing and why you're doing it. Ask yourself the question, why am I doing it? Why are you reading? Why do I want to achieve this goal of mine? Now, if you have a proper answer to this question, well and good. If you don't, you either need to find out a proper answer or you'll have to quit. Because without a proper intent, getting any task done is next to impossible. So have an intent. Okay. Now, the second tip that I want to give you is make a habit. Now, I've already discussed about making and developing and maintaining a reading habit in my previous video. You can check that out. So, making a habit is necessary because things don't happen overnight, okay? You need to already have a habit. Habits make a man. So, until and unless you have a habit, you won't be able to do the task every single day. Now, for example, if you are someone who wants to build muscle and are not into the habit of working out every day, or not in the habit of, say, lifting weights every day, and one day suddenly you think that now I need to build lots of muscles and I'll go to the gym and start lifting the heaviest weights there are, you are going to injure yourself, which is not a good thing. Definitely not a good thing. So, in order to make a habit, you need to go to the gym every day, start lifting the lightest you can, and gradually, one day you'll be able to lift the heavier ones as well. It's simple. The same thing applies in school. We first learn the easier stuff. We first start learning an hour a day, and slowly, one day comes when we are able to learn 8 hours a day. We are able to sit through it. Same goes with reading and learning. You need to develop a habit. And once you have developed a habit, I want you to read more widely and a more challenging material. Now, what I mean by that is you need to learn more often, read more often, and more challenging material. Now, reading often is pretty self-explanatory. You need to read every day. You need to make out a time and space and read it no matter what. Do it no matter what. Just do it. Okay. So, and by reading complicated material, I mean you not only should read what you're used to reading, you need to challenge yourself in order to develop the habit and maintain interest in that habit. Now, take school for example. If we're studying the same subject for the whole day, we'll get bored like anything. But that is why school is divided into different subjects. We study a different subjects every 40 or 45 minutes so that we are able to hold our interest in it. Same goes with reading. So if you're reading, read different genres, read different authors from different parts of the country. This will not only help you retain interest but also enrich your reading experience and expand your horizons. Okay, now the third and pretty obvious trick is to eliminate distractions. Now what distractions do is that make us feel, they give us a false sense of comfort that we are reading, but our mind is somewhere else. It is not on our book or whatever study material. So eliminate distractions. Now the most common distraction in our modern quarantine lives is our very dear phone. Okay, so even though I risk sounding like a parent or a teacher, but I'll request you to put your phones on silent or switch them off if you can, and put them somewhere you can't reach them, so that the urge to check your phone every 5 minutes is not fulfilled and you're able to put your concentration where it is needed. Okay. Now some other distractions are there as well. For example, the ambience, the amount of people there are in the room, the lighting and stuff, which you can adjust according to your preference. But the lack of distractions help you concentrate on your work and actually retain the information in your mind. Without distractions, you're able to concentrate fully and completely into your book. Okay, so eliminate as many distractions as you can. Okay, now the fourth and according to me the most important trick is speed reading. Speed reading, as the name suggests, is the art of reading fast, but it is a pretty elaborate concept and I won't go into deep right now, but I'll tell you the gist of it. So speed reading is something which is going to help you read more because you're reading faster, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to retain the information, because I'm going to tell you how you're going to retain the information. Okay, so a couple of tricks come into play when you're speed reading. The first is bring or put your peripheral vision into use. What is peripheral vision? It is our ability to see our surroundings without having to focus on them. For example, if you focus just on my finger right now, you still will be able to see the surroundings. Okay, the same comes into work when you're reading. So you pick up a book and you read the important points or the points in the center of the book, and you still will be able to see and read what is on the other corners. Okay, for example, if you're reading just the middle, you still will be able to comprehend what is there near the margins. Now you'll say that if we just read the center of the book, how am I supposed to understand what is there in the other parts of the book? This is where skimming comes into play. Now skimming is a very important skill that you need to develop in order to read. With the help of skimming, you will be able to understand and categorize the text in the comprehension provided. So when we are reading, not all the text is as necessary. Okay, so all this comes with habit. You need to develop a habit out of it. It doesn't happen overnight. Okay, so with skimming, you will be able to understand which parts of the book or the material you are having is more important, less important, and not important at all. Categorize it and you will be able to skim through it. Okay, now with the help of skimming and peripheral reading, and one more trick I'll give you is that put your finger on the text that you're reading. Okay, so this thing helps you when you're speed reading, putting your finger to the text. Now it may look awkward, sound awkward, but it works. Okay, so when you put your finger while you're reading on the text like this, with habit you will be able to read at the speed that your finger is moving. Yes, it does work. And with more habit and with more practice, you will be able to read just with your eyeballs like this. Okay, but initially use your finger, and slowly and gradually you will be able to read at the speed that your finger is moving on the text. So these 3 tricks: speed reading, skimming, and moving your finger, and using your peripheral vision, 4 tricks, you will be able to read faster and get the gist of the content, the concepts and the themes that are discussed or explained in the text. You will be able to understand all of it, and at a much faster rate than a normal reader. Okay, now I do not guarantee that you will be able to read so many books per minute, or so many texts per minute, or so many books per year, but I do guarantee that your reading speed and memory retention will definitely increase with this one. Now the 5th trick that I want to give you is visualize. Now visualization is a mind technique that you need to apply while reading the text. So while reading the text, I want you to simultaneously visualize whatever is happening in the text. Now I know it is easier to visualize fiction as compared to non-fiction, but it can be applied anywhere. Okay, so what happens when you visualize a text is that it forms an image in your brain. For example, if I ask you to visualize an apple, you'll immediately form a picture of apple in your brain. The same thing works here. So you do not have to look at an apple in order to visualize it. You already know how it looks like. Same principle applies here. When I ask you to visualize something while reading it, the image will be formed in your brain and etched into your brain, so that the next time that you want the information, you will be able to grab the image and put it on paper, okay, or speak it out. Okay, that's how it works. So it may not work for some people who are not able to visualize. Now it is not for everybody, I know. So for those people, I want you to write down all the important points that you want. So while skimming and speed reading, you will find all the important things that are there in the text, and you need to write them down. Now some people have a habit of highlighting the books, but how often do we go back and read the highlighted text? Not very often. So write all that down, all those important things down somewhere, so that you can either revise them at your wish, or it will be stored somewhere in your brain, because hand to brain connection is a pretty strong one. When you write something down, you are bound to remember it. Okay, so write that down. Now those were all my tricks there. I hope that you apply them to your reading goals and your studies, and so that you're able to read more books faster, efficiently, and actually retain the information in this pretty little head of yours. Okay, so like this video if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, share this video with all your friends, and I'll see you next time in another video. Till then, keep smiling, keep reading, and keep exploring. Bye bye.